everyone, thank you so much for being here today. In this session, we are going to spend some quality time learning about an essential topic in physics, work and simple machine.
Now, when you heard the word work, what do you usually think of? Maybe you think of homework or carrying heavy bags or helping your parents at home. Perhaps you think of your future career in everyday language. Work usually means doing something that makes us serious.
But in physics, work has a very specific meaning and is not exactly the same as what we usually think. You can be very tired but not actually be doing work in the physics sense. And sometimes you can be doing a lot of work in physics without even realizing it.
Today we are going to explore that difference. We will begin by understanding what physics mean when they say work. Then we will connect work with energy because the two concepts are deeply related. After that, we will move into the Today we are going to explore that difference. We will begin by understanding what physics mean when they say work, then we will connect to work with energy because the two concepts are deeply related. After that, we will move into the fascinating world of simple machine. These are tools that humans have been using for thousands of years to make tasks easier.
By the end of this lesson, you will be able to 1. Divide work in physics, 2. Calculate work in simple situation, 3. Understand the transfer of energy to work, 4. Identify 6 types of simple machines, 5. Recognize these machines in your daily life.
So please stay focused because although this topic may sound simple, it is the foundation of engineering, architecture, and even modern technology. Part 2. Understanding work. Let's start with a first big question. What is work in physics?
In physics, work is defined as the product of a force applied to an object and the distance that the object moves in the direction of that force.
The formula is work is force and distance and cost time distance time cost, where cost is the angle between the force and the direction of motion. Now, let me break this down for you. If you then no work is done in physics sense.
Imagine you push on a wall with all your strength for 10 minutes. You sweat, you get tired, your muscle ache, but the wall does not move. According to physics, you have done zero work. Why? Because there is no.
Example 2. Now imagine lifting a box that weighs 15 newtons to a shelf that is 2 meter high. The force is 15 newton. The distance is 2 meters and the force and motion are in same direction upwards. Work equals 15 times 2 equals 100 joules. So in this case, you have done 100 joules of work.
If you push a shopping cart with a force of 20 newtons across the supermarket floor for 10 meters, the work is 20 times 10 equals 200 joules.
point, the unit of work is the joule. 1 joule is equal to the 1 newton of force applied through 1 meter of distance.
Let me ask you a quick question. If you carry your heavy school bag horizontally, just walking across the corridor, are you doing work against gravity? The answer is no, because gravity pulls downward, but you are moving sideways. The force you apply upwards to hold the bag is not causing horizontal displacement.
This shows that physics is precise. It not only counts work when the force and the movement are in same direction. So once again, no movement, no work. Movement not aligned with the force, reduce or not work. Movement aligned with the force, yes, work is done.
Part 3. Work and energy. Now that we know what work is, let's connect it to another big idea, energy. In physics, energy is the ability to work. And when you do work on an object, you transfer energy to that object.
For example, when you lift a book on the shelf, you are giving it potential energy because of its height. If the book falls, that potential energy turns into kinetic energy.
When you push a swing at the playground, you are doing work by applying a force. The swing moves and you have transferred energy to it.
When you throw a ball, you do work against the ball, and it gains kinetic energy as it fills through the air.
So work and energy are like two sides of the same coin. Work is the process, energy the result.
The object in the form work.
That is why after a lot of physical work, you feel tired. You have transferred energy from your body to the environment.
Now that we understand work and energy, let's move to the next big question. Why do we need machines? Think about the past, thousands of years ago. Imagine ancient people trying to build the Egyptian pyramids. Each one weighed several tons. Without modern technology, how could they possibly move such massive blocks of stone?
The answer is they use simple machines. They use long wooden poles as levers. They use long logs as rollers, which are basically wheels and axles. They build long ramps and pipelines to drag stones upward.
This machine didn't produce the total amount of work required. This is tells us the total work is always same, but machine made it easier to apply force. They gave human a way to useless force over a greater distance, or to change the direction of force to make attacks more convenient.
So the key idea here is machine make work easier. Machine give us the mechanical advantage, but machine do not charge the total amount of work done.
Without machine, human civilization would not exist in the way it does today. Think about it, no wheels, no pulleys, no ramps, no tools. We will still be stuck in Stone Age.
So let's now take a deeper look at the classic simple machines that have shaped human history.
Part 5. The 6 simple machines. 1. Lever. A lever is a rigid bar that pivots on a point called a fulcrum. Lever helps us lift or move heavy objects the least effort.
There are three classes of levers. First class levers. The fulcrum is in the middle. Example, scissor, crowbar, scissors. Second class lever. The load is in the middle. Example, wheelbarrow, nutcracker. Third class lever. The effort is in the middle. Example, broom, fishing rod, your arm.
Imagine trying to lift a large rock. If you place a strong stick under the rock and use another stone as a fulcrum, you can push down on the stick and easily lift the rock. That's a lever in action. The longer the lever arm, the less force you need. This is why long crowbars are so effective at moving heavy objects.
In inclined planes, it's simply a sloping surface that allows you to rise objects with less effort. Examples include ramps, slides, or routes that spiral up mountains. When you push something up a ramp, you use less force compared to leaving it straight up. But you cover a longer distance. The work done is the same, but it feels easier. This is why delivery workers use ramps to load heavy boxes into trucks.
Three. Wheel and axle. The wheel and axle is one of the most revolutionary inventions in history. It consists of a large wheel attached to a smaller axle. When one turns, the other turns as well. Example, cars, bicycles, rolling chairs, drug snow. The wheel and axle reduce function and allow heavy loads to move smoothly. Imagine how hard it would be moved furniture without wheels. With wheels, you can move the same load with far less effort.
A pulley is wheel with a rope or chain around it. A single fixed pulley changes the direction of force. For example, pulling down on a rope to lift a flag up a pole. A movable pulley reduces the effort made to lift a weight. A system of pulleys called a blocks and tackles greatly reduces effort, allowing you to lift very heavy objects. Cranes in construction sites use pulleys to lift steel beams. Sailors use pulleys to raise sails. Even protest lines use the same principle.
Wedge. A wedge is basically two inclined planes joining back to back. It used to cut, split, or cut objects. Example: knife, axe, nails, chisel, and even nail thread. A sharp knife requires less force to cut because the wedge shape concentrates the force into a smaller area. Lagi. 6. Screw. A screw is an inclined plane wrapped around a cylinder. It converts rotational force into linear force.
Examples: jar lids, bolts, drills, bottle caps, and even light bulbs. When you twist a screw, The threads grip the material and pull the screw downward. This allows you to hold objects tightly together with little effort.
Part 6. Mechanical advantage. Now let's talk about mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage, or MA, is a number of times a machine multiplies your input force. If whatever.
If a lever allows you to lift 200 newtons using only 15 newtons of effort, the mechanical advantage is 4. If a pulley system lets you lift 100 kilograms with the force of only 25 kilograms, the MA is also 4.
The formula is mechanical advantage equals output force The formula is mechanical advantage equals output force input force. Machines do not create energy, they only transport it. You make useless force, but you move a greater distance, the total work remains the same.
Think of mechanical advantage as a bargain. You pay less force, but in exchange you travel a longer distance. That's why that is why ramps are longer than vertical lift, or why screws require many turns. Part 2. Real life application. Simple machines are not just in textbook. They are everywhere in our daily life.
In the kitchen, a knife, wedge, a bottle opener, lever, and jar lid screw. At school, scissors, lever, rolling chairs, wheel and axle. In precision, cranes, pulley, ramps, incline pipes. In the in sport, a baseball bat or hockey stick, lever, skateboard, wheels, wheel and axle. Even the human body, your arm is level, your teeth are wedged, and your joints act like fulcrum. Iya deh itu.
Once you start paying attention, you will realize that our world is filled with simple machines. Without them, modern life would be impossible. Part 8. Recap and closing. Let's review what we have learned today.
1. In physics, work is force multiplied by distance in the same direction. Work transfer energy from one object to another. Humans use machines to make work easier, not to reduce the total work.
The 6 types of simple machines are lever, inclined planes, wheel and axle, pulley, wedge, and screw.
Lu baca yang mana, Cek? Ini.
Oh, yeah. Machines give us mechanical advantage, allowing us to use less force over greater distance. From the tools in our kitchens to the technology in construction sites.
So next time you open a jar, cut fruit, ride bicycle, or use a ramp, remember you are not just doing something ordinary. You are using the power of physics.
Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this lesson helped you see the science behind everyday action. And remember, physics is not only about numbers and formulas, it is about understanding the world around us. Thank you.